What's up guys, it's Woolf from Scratch and welcome back to another Civilization 5 guide. Last time I did the Chinese civilization, a rather interesting mix-up of scientific and domination strategies, which makes for quite an interesting and strong civilization which has been around since Vanilla Civ. So, this week I am doing another vanilla civilization. We're doing the Arabian Civ, which has been slightly modified since. Let's get started.
Was born in the turbulent years after the death of the Prophet Muhammad in 6th of God to all of the people of the earth. The Caliphate grew mighty indeed at the height of its power, ruling Spain, North Africa, the Middle East, Anatolia, the Balkans, and Persia. An empire as great or even greater than that of Rome. The arts and sciences flourished in Arabia during the Middle Ages, even as the countries of Europe descended into ignorance and chaos. The Caliphate survived for 600 years, until finally succumbing to attack from the Mongols, those destroyers of empires. Great Caliph Harun Al-Rashid, your people look to you to return them to greatness, to make Arabia once again an enlightened land of arts and knowledge, a powerful nation who needs fear no enemy. O Caliph, will you take up the challenge? Can you build a civilization that will stand the test of time?
So as I said earlier, the Arabian special ability has been modified since Brave New World. On Gods and Kings and Vanilla Civ, Arabia's special ability would give you 2 gold for every trade route, which in Vanilla Civ was of course the connection between your cities and the capital. Trade connection, I think it's called. Can't remember now, it's been a while since I played Vanilla Civ. Also, your oil resource also doubled, as with the modified Ships of the Desert special ability since Brave New World, where all of Arabia's trade caravans get 50% extended range, and your trade routes will spread the religion twice as effectively. This is a special ability that you don't notice at first unless you're exactly looking for it. However, it is quite a powerful improvement, and it leads to the 2 main factors that make up the Arabian strategy, that of money, the economy, and that of faith. So, and I'll get on to that later on, but let's move into the Arabian special unique building. Let's also add while I'm here, Arabia does have a desert starting bias, which of course is where the majority of oil will spawn. And it also means that later on you should be able to build the Petra Wonder, which is a very important wonder. And look, Oasis, very important for us, for our unique building, the Bazaar, which, coming right up. For bloody hell, I'm trying to do a guide here, okay? You're joining the douchebag league with Polynesia and Kamehameha, alright? God damn it, Montezuma. Great. God damn it. What's this? Let's see. How many times does this have to occur to me? For bloody hell, I'm trying to do a guide here. Why? This is the... Here's an extra added guide. Do not trust the Aztecs. Or anyone around you, for that matter. I'm not playing Civ 5, I'm playing Who Wants to Backstab Arabia by Sid Meier. This is... What a douchebag league. What a douchebag. Ottomans, Polynesia, Aztecs, Egypt, Assyria. I count 5. God, I'm not forgetting this. I'm not forgetting this. Although this music is my jam, so... What a great turban as well. That's great. You having a good read there, Solomon? Okay. Alright, I will see if I can get this guide going without dying. New challenge!
Better is bread with a happy heart than wealth with vexation.
So, apart from managing to scramble up some defenses, upon researching currency, you'll unlock the Arabian unique building, which is the Bazaar. The Bazaar is unique in that for every luxury resource that is worked by the city with a Bazaar, you'll get a free copy of it, which means you get 2 for the price of 1. As corny as that sounds. Also, each oil and oasis provided worked by the city will get 2 gold, and trade routes with other players with a city in a bazaar will get some extra gold. So that standard trade route thing, which has also been seen in other cities, especially Germany since Brave New World with the Hansa. But more incentive for oil and double luxuries is where this building really shines. Where you have, say, a monopoly, especially on that resource. Let's say we have, for example, let's say theoretically I control all the copper. And let's say this 3 copper is the only, well, excluding that one, is the only copper in the game. Then that means with the bazaar, I will have 6 copper to sell out and trade to all the other civilizations. And where you have trade is power, and that's where the bazaar is truly powerful. The other good thing about currency is that you'll be able to get Petra, which is, as I mentioned earlier, not only do you get a free caravan, which is very, very useful because of Arabia's special ability. More caravans mean more money, and of course more religious spreading. And also because of your desert bias, you should be able to build it relatively easily. If not in your capital, then at least your second city, which is sort of where you want to be staying, around near the desert, because that is where, of course, the oases are, and of course, more oil is in the desert. Right, so let's move on to the Arabian Special Unit. I think I've finished here. What is this bullshit? Okay, get the hell out of here, Aztecs. You know what? Screw you. Screw you. You're in the Polynesian League, the League of Douchebags. Right. Arabian Special Unit, here we come.
Whoso pulleth out the sword of the stone is rightwise king born of all England.
So upon researching chivalry, you'll unlock the Arabian Special Unit, or Unique Unit, the Camel Archer. The Camel Archer replaces the Knight, and where it's different is that it's a ranged unit rather than the Knight being a melee unit. The Camel Archer is one of my favourite units in all of Civ. Almost very similar to the Mongolian Keshik, who, surprise surprise, are right near me as well. How's that for historical accuracy? The Camel Archer can fire twice in a turn, and I would show you, but filthy barbarians. It fires twice in a turn, and because it's a cavalry unit, it is weak to any type of spear, especially pikemen, which is the spear infantry of the era. And in melee combat, it is quite weak, brittle, you could say. So whatever you do, don't let your Camel Archers in melee combat. However, the ability to fire and move, not fire twice, to fire and move is absolutely fantastic, and it makes some serious plays. Camel Archers can actually replace siege weapons when at war, because they are that effective, and it's an absolutely fantastic unit, running in, attacking the city, and then popping out for safety. It is by far one of my favourite units in all of Civ. Anyway, I'll regain these horses, and then I'll show you what it looks like, and then I'll do my little finale summary. Right, so now that I've regained my horses, I can now show you the Camel Archer. Look at him, what a pretty unit. The great thing about this unit, move, attack, and move again, and heal up. This is especially useful when attacking cities. So, to summarize the Arabian civilization as a whole, technological superiority is nice, but faith superiority is what you're after. Arabia's strategy is summarized into 2 branches. Arabia as a whole is very good at a diplomatic victory. Why? Because of all the trade incentives and the power they wield with the bazaars, with the double luxury resources, which means you can end up having something like, in my last game, I had something like 12 copies of silver, which, if you think about it, on a huge map, is 1 silver to each civilization. But of course, it is very rarely that you have the only copy of said resource. The also added bonus of more money for when a trade route connects, and also the bonus for having a bazaar in your, not bazaar, sorry, a oasis, sorry, in that city, which comes in handy as they are starting on a desert bias, and the bonus for having oil, which is also mostly found in, guess where? Desert. So, adds quite a lot of money and trade incentives. The increased range from your special ability means that you can connect to civilizations very, very far away, which means you can often build your caravans and overcome the problem early on is that you've got no one to trade to because your caravans cannot reach without a caravansary. So that problem is immediately gone. The second branch to the Arabian strategy is that of faith. Or as stated in their special ability, their trade routes are able for them to spread their religion twice as effective, which makes them extremely powerful at this. So let's found Islam because we are Arabia. And we'll do that later. We won't do that later. Let's do that later. Anyway, Prophet, which is very fitting. One of the greatest techs for them, not only is chivalry, because we get this fantastic camel archer, but it's also things like theology, and opening up with pottery to get the shrine, which, as you are close to the desert, you should aim to get desert folklore, as the amount of faith from that will be huge. Otherwise, if you're not in the desert straight away, which happens, this is Civ after all, having a faith-producing pantheon with something that you've got a lot of, I went for added faith from gems, iron, and salt, which I have no salt, but I have lots of gems, which means 2, 4, 6, and eventually 8, or 10 faith, which is quite good. Not as good as desert folklore, but it is very effective. Getting Stonehenge is also a great wonder, as not only will you get the great engineer points, which will eventually accumulate to getting a great engineer round about the time you get theology, which means you can pop a wonder such as the Hagia Sophia, or the Great Mosque, or even Borobudur, which is also going to be very used to your faith game, which is really what you want to be aiming for. Things like tithe, or church property, which give you gold incentives or gold bonuses for having a religion in other people's cities is really quite nice. And it's actually quite easy to do with the trade route religion bonus, because it means that you have power in your trade routes which allow you to spread your civilization religion all over the world. Of course, it's more effective with caravans than trade routes, but the special ability does not differentiate between the two. Finally, the Arabian Camel Archer is absolutely fantastic. As I've stated before, there's almost no need to build a siege weapon such as trebuchets, because pop, shoot, run. Absolutely fantastic unit. One of my favourites in the game. Probably a second to that would be, funnily enough and very similar, is the Keshik from Mongolia. G'day, Genghis. He said g'day. And he also then backstabbed me like the others, so that's also a double bonus. So, there's the Arabian civilization as a whole. From the player's perspective, when playing against Arabia, heed my advice against the Camel Archers. Fight them with respect. The fact that they can pop in, shoot, and pop out makes them very annoying. Don't go chasing them if they do start running off, because they lead you into a trap. Arabia can be a very good ally, however, to get because of their oil bonus. If you're playing as a civ such as Germany, America, anything that has a unit that requires oil, then these guys are really quite nice to ally to have. They should have quite a bit of oil due to their start bias and the incentive they have to go into deserts. So, there's the Arabian civilization as a whole. Hope it was useful. Hope you enjoyed. That's me, Wolf out. Tune in next time for another Civilization 5 guide. See you later.